Lynda, how are
Hey,
you?
York, great to see
Great to see
you.
you
Good to
too.
see you this morning. And wow, what a really great looking
Isn't this a smart looking car?
Hyundai Sonata. Yeah,
It's
beautiful looking car.
it's
Oh
the
my
N
God.
Line 2025. I got to tell you, and you'll see this when we get inside. The comfort level inside of this has to be the most comfortable cockpit of a sedan that I've ever been in. I've sat in some pretty comfortable SUVs and such. I got into this one, and it's like, oh wow, this is home. So let's go for a drive, and we'll have a chat about your life here in Northumberland
Well,
County.
I love that. I love cars. So this is just
Let me get the
fantastic.
door for you. You had a very successful career in the music business in the 70s. We could probably spend a couple of hours talking about that. But we're going to talk about you here in Northumberland County. In the 80s, what brought you here to Northumberland County?
Well, I came here because at the time, the gentleman I was dating was looking to start with a law firm here. So that's how I ended up coming to Coburg. And we eventually got married and settled here in Coburg, which was, I've never lived in a small town. I'd
Right.
always lived in Toronto and moved around various parts of Toronto. And actually, our family ended up sort of settling in Oakville, Ontario, which was a lovely place to live. And I loved it because it was by the lake. So coming here to Coburg, what was nice was such a beautiful beach. I was shocked when I came to Coburg. I could not believe the beauty of our waterfront when I came, and that was before the boardwalk was put on and such, and the marina was developed more. But it was so beautiful, and I love beach and I love water, and I thought, wow, it's just amazing. I can live and 2 minutes walk and I'm at the beach,
Right.
and so that's how I came to Coburg, and I had our daughter here, Elizabeth, in 1985, and that was a game changer, having a beautiful daughter, and certainly, being here has been. I've loved living in Coburg. I can't imagine living anywhere else at this point in my life, and it's been over 40 years that I've been here.
Right. And 28 of those years with the Northumberland United Way. An incredible run with the United Way. What was it about the United Way that made you want to take on that role and give it such a huge commitment?
Well, I think it was interesting because they advertised for a part-time executive director, and actually, somebody just said to me, "Hey, Lynda, this would be a good little part-time job for you," which was good because I'd given up work, and yes, I had worked in the music business, very fast-paced business, and I had done, you know. I had done many major tours and been involved with many major artists. So it was kind of different. I gave up work when I had Elizabeth, and I was looking at trying to do something in the community, and actually had done some part-time work at Victoria Hall. Had been involved with the initial start of the Coburg Waterfront Festival in 1987 when it
Right.
started with Mark Finnan, and and then I was just looking for something on top of that. So this was a great little part-time job. Being involved in a community and what it has to offer and being able to give back to the community, I think really got ingrained in me. And it just was something that I really wanted to be involved in the community. I wanted to see the community grow. I wanted to see what United Way could do for the community, but also how I got involved in a number of other organizations over the years.
So you want to get involved with community, and Northumberland United Way helps community. It all takes money. So a lot of fundraising
A lot
was
of
involved.
fundraising over the years for sure.
You've done a number of fundraisers, a number of key signature fundraisers. Talk to us a little bit about, before we talk about one in particular, about the support you got from the business community here in Northumberland County.
Oh, we had tremendous support from the business community. The local industries and manufacturing were incredible in their support of the United Way. We had huge payroll deduction campaigns. We had built industries like Belden back then, and Textron Automotive, which eventually has become CPK. They were raising over $100,000 for us every year, which was incredible. And many other local organizations, other industries, Cameco came on board. When I started at the United, we had to start looking at how do we get the local manufacturing or organizations here get involved with us, and how do we get payroll reduction happening in them? And it started with looking at the larger companies, but lots of small businesses, lots of retailers. You know, United Way was all about community, and we had such tremendous support. You know, we did showcase of collectibles, all the restaurants that got involved with that. You know, you look at that, and then there was all the individual gifts. So, you know, over the years, it was United Way is community, and it's all about giving back to your community and investing in programs and services in your community. That's what we have always been about and continue to be about, is giving back to our community.
I do want to make mention too of Paul and Ann Burnham, who not only with
Yeah.
Burnham Family Farm Market have been involved with the fundraising, but also sat as co-chairs
Yes.
of your annual campaign. The annual campaigns were something that were absolutely huge, starting with having to set a goal, having your kickoff, and then coming up with all the events to meet that goal.
That's right. No, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun, but it definitely was a lot of work too. But you know, and it was going like the Burnhams. Anne started with her, you know, her annual pumpkin fest
Right.
fundraiser, and that's still going 20 years from now. I look at many things, you know, and one of the things we started, and I know we're sitting here at the yacht club, was the Coburg the dragon boat races.
Right. That's why we're here.
Yeah, and you know, we sat one day in the United Way boardroom, and Peter Delaney was there, and Blake Jones, and a few others, and we said, I wonder what we could do with those dragon boats, because Peter and I think Blake at that point, they were dragon boating, and so we decided, well, maybe we could do something with that. And it turned out to be, you know, we did that for many years, and raising, boy, I think we raised over $250,000 plus doing dragon boating, the Dragon Boat Festival every year, and people had a lot of fun. We only had one year where a boat went down. Everybody got out safe and sound, which was the municipality of Port Hope sunk. But other than that, you know, we had, it was a really great festival every September, and it was amazing the amount of people that came out and participated in it.
Well, and that's the part that I want to take you to, is the community got involved with this. They came out as participants. They came out as spectators. This whole area was jam-packed with people on Dragon Boat Festival Day. And a lot of the events, that's sort of a theme through what happens with the Northumberland United Way, is the community sport that comes out to help support the United Way, but also have a great time at these events.
Yeah, and that was it. I mean, the events were to come out and have fun. Some were them just to build awareness of United Way. We used to do an annual trike race over in Port Hope, and we had these little tricycles, and people would, you know, we had people doing that, and there was big competition there. But we had some other neat fundraisers, you know, Dr. Paul Caldwell, Dr. Mavis, and Jim Edwards, who canoed across Lake Ontario to raise money when Bill Patchett was a campaign chair. You know, they rollerbladed from Toronto back to Coburg, with Gord Lay and Mark Isak involved in that, and Jessica Fraser Thomas, as well as Paul and Bill. And then we, you know, and then another time we did another trip across the lake. So, you know, those are all things I think of today and thinking we could never do that today because of the risk involved with that. They water skied across the lake. I mean, we did many things around the lake here. It was always a focal point for some of our events for the United Way.
And after that long ride, all good things must come to an end. In 2017, you decide to retire. How tough was making that decision?
It was a tough decision because, well, something else that had happened to us was the generosity of Carl Shaw, who actually was involved in actually hiring me 28 years prior for him to donate a building for us. So, you know, that donation of a building in partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters was an absolutely fabulous donation. It was the biggest donation we'd ever received. By the time it was finished, it was almost $500,000 with the purchase of the building and the renovation of the building, which was all covered through his family's generosity, Carl and Susan and Paul. And it gave a home to the United Way. But it was a tough decision, but I thought, you know, I've done a lot, and maybe it was time for new blood to come in and see where it would go from there. But, you know, so I retired for about 6 months.
Yeah, not really a retirement, not a long retirement.
Not retirement, and I had the opportunity to work with Community Care Northumberland, which is a really wonderful agency, provides vital services in the community to individuals of all ages through their Meals on Wheels, their transportation, their workshops that they do. And that involvement was all being involved with the building of Ed's house. And I mean, what a wonderful thing to be part of my career, to be asked to be a part of that. I had worked with Gord and Patty Lay as campaign chairs, not only for the United Way. I remember asking Gord to be a campaign chair, and Patty said, well, how come I can't help? Well, you certainly can, Patty. So they were our first couple.
Right.
And we went from there, and we were involved in, Gordon and I were involved in fundraising for the hospital and the new Northumberland Hills Hospital, which was over 20 years ago. And then we got involved with the building of the Cobra Community Center.
Right.
And this campaign, Ed's House. And, you know, I'm very proud to have been involved in that. I'm very proud to have been involved in all of those campaigns. Ed's House was just kind of the icing on the cake. And I
Yeah.
know how much that facility has meant to the families that utilize it.
It certainly has.
Mhm.
Certainly has. Lynda, thank you very much for taking the time to have this chat, community
You did.
conversations.
Thank you very much, York. And thanks for taking me for a spin in this beautiful Hyundai Sonata with the most amazing dashboard. You got to check this out and go to your local Hyundai dealer, which is, of course,
Gloria Hyundai.
today. That's
There
right.
you go. Thank you very much.
Thanks.